All right, so I never finished the video to whether or not something like crowding the area when I'm redoing a new gate, would I consider that something that needs to be handled with a learning curve, or is that something that I would handle in a, the rules about being all up in my space. So if it looks like something's wrong with the side of my face, like I had a root canal done like a couple hours ago, but I didn't want to not finish this. In that case, him having, it was his fourth morning coming out of that gate. So he had an opportunity to kind of feel what the routine would be. When he's coming in and out of a gate, when he's walking with me, when he's basically doing anything with me that is a, from point A to point B kind of activity, he has to respect my personal space. So in that case, yes, I would make an immediate, hey, get off me, so that it doesn't keep happening, because I move my horses almost always in a dark time. I move my horses before the sun comes up. So when they're coming out of the paddock in the mornings, they actually are coming out in the dark. I don't need to find out on day 3 of the learning curve type of training that I didn't get my point across enough, and now I've just been smacked into a gate, or I've just been run over, or I've just been accidentally stepped on. I don't even want like the accidental step on my foot, So yes, in that case, I would make sure that it's a urgent correction, not a correction, not a, hey, like smack my horse or anything like that kind of thing, but, making it really the wrong thing for them to have done. Like, hey, get off me. Right? And without hitting, but just like making chaos in the space that they should not be. Right? And then in that case, you would be utilizing kind of a startle factor. Kind of a, oh, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's okay to, he wouldn't have gotten offended as much as he would have been like surprised through his lack of knowing, right? So he wouldn't have been offended. He would have just been like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't allowed to do that, or I didn't know I was, I didn't realize. No matter what kind of the reaction I would get, like I got kind of a surprised, I wasn't expecting to be told I did something wrong response. I guarantee you, tomorrow he won't do it. In fact, I just took him out of, because it was a beautiful enough day and very cloudy, so they didn't have a lot of bug problems today. So I thought, let's give them some extra time outside. And I just brought them back in to feed them, and then I'm going to go do a lesson, and then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to put them out for the night. So he actually came in again today. So it's the second time today he came in. And it's fixed as far as today, right? Tomorrow morning, maybe I'm going to have to remind him that, hey, remember what we talked about yesterday? But it's not something that I would be like, oh, it's okay, buddy, and gently push him out of my space. But you don't need to be this close to me now, whatever. I wouldn't do that. I would make sure that it's understood, like when I ask you to come through a gate, now I turn to latch the gate, and now it's time for me to turn away from the gate, and we're going to head in. You do not need to be on top of me, period. Like that, I would fix, whether it's new to them, whether they're young, I would fix that. And I would fix that with a zero tolerance kind of attitude. Like, absolutely not. This is not okay, right? I wouldn't do anything to the horse. My energy, my intention, my strict black and white, right and wrong kind of intention that would become to the horse is all he would need. He wouldn't need me to physically discipline him, and then that's the other thing too, is like, try to reduce how often you hit your horse. You know how many horses I actually start to handle from like the first visit that, at a barn or whatever, and The horses are very head shy. They're very ear shy. They're very, you know, you go to pet them on like on the, where the saddle would sit, and they, you know, I have a horse actually who I believe, if I was to guess how this type of reaction started, he used to be a stallion. I knew the reason that he was hard to halter, you know, just based on his behavior, was because he must have been handled with a chain. You know, a lot of times they call it a stud chain. A lot of times a stallion is just handled with a chain over his nose, even if it's the gentlest horse in the world, because that's just, you know, what a stallion, you know, I guess it's just the equipment they use. I also know barns that's like a mandatory part of their barn equipment is a chain over the horse's nose. Doesn't matter if it's the nicest horse in the world or a you know, flying kite. Anyway, so when he gets startled, he gasps like you just sucker punched him in the gut. Like, and it sounds like there's like you took his wind. There's a sound like somebody impacted his stomach. If I was to guess, this is a horse that was probably hard to catch. When they finally did catch him, they kicked him in the stomach. I would guess that, and I would probably even be willing to put, you know, a less than paycheck on it, right? I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been at farms where I witnessed 3 guys go back to try to catch the one pony that they couldn't catch when they brought all the other horses in, when it was just the 2 guys that were bringing the rest of the horses in. Then when they came back for him, they brought another guy. When they finally caught that pony, they took turns beating that pony up. I called the owner of the farm. I was just like, this is, and it wasn't even her horse. It was one of her boarder's horses. And I was just like, this is unacceptable. This is your guys beating up this horse because they couldn't catch it. And then they catch it. They finally get a hold of it. And then they beat it up. I was so upset. Oh, I was so upset. But anyway, it's not uncommon to see, is what I'm getting at. Like, in fact, I don't think they even were spoken to. That's how not uncommon it is to see. I've seen it before, but that was a pretty extreme version. So anyway, okay, so that's it. Hopefully you're still hearing this, because a phone call is coming in and that usually ruins my videos, but hopefully you're still hearing the end. Cool, bye.